The 79 gets caught up in it just at the very end. The 67, though, of Nathan Stanley makes it on through free and clear. He, Paul Verdiani, and Larry Dickerson having a drag race down to the for one last attack, getting underneath him, not quite able to make it stick, having to lift once again. Into exit of turn number 4, down onto the front straightaway here. Who's going to win it with the drag race? It's going to be Timothy Pope. First 3 and 4, 751 with a hefty lead here, about a half a car length. That's the one gets up into the wall with a run down. 200 feet. It's going to be a close one across the line. Garrett Welsh made it 3 wide on the far outside lane, picking up spots left and right here as everybody fighting for every single spot we go. Coming across the line, white flag. So here we go, final lap. We have power, we have internet, and we have a race, and some fantastic words and some movies somewhere. All right. We are live here with the NTRL Arca series here on this Friday night, coming at you from Texas Motor Speedway. 120 laps of great racing action. It's going to happen here right before your eyes, and boy, oh boy, can we not wait to get this party all started for y'all. So let's get things kicked off with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And welcome back. As always, these great races wouldn't happen with some fantastic sponsor support here with the NTRL. So big thank you to JP Designs and 3D Prints for jumping on board all season long. Same thing with Davidson Builders as well. We thank you guys so very much. The same thing with Admin Box there as well. Thank you guys for jumping on board here with that great button box that you guys got for sale over there, as well as a big thank you for SimGearCentral.com as well. Be sure to go check them out for some great button boxes. And don't forget about checking out TrekDogsRacing.com, your premier merchandising supplier of the NTRL and AAA broadcasting. Of course, we got to thank Track Bar Media as well. Thank you guys so very much for that fantastic intro and promo video, guys, that you guys did. And of course, big thank you to Country Through the Ages, your action replay camera sponsor as well. I'm Alan Brown, and don't you worry, I was buried under some snow, some downed trees, some downed power lines, but we are back live here, and I'm joined by two of my best friends, Mr. Alan English joining me here in the booth, and Alan, we come back to a fantastic race here tonight. I believe they changed things up originally from what the schedule was, and I think they made a pretty good call coming here to Texas.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the original race was going to be at iRacing Super Speedway, and as we all know, that thing has a lot of problems. We get a lot of net code issues and other things there. Texas is a great track, when they reconfigured it especially, but and that's what they're racing on here today is the updated version of Texas. It's still 1.5 miles and 4 turns, and it's going to be a lot of fun here. We're in for 120 laps here tonight. And a decent-sized crowd. Got about 18 cars out there registered for this thing so far, but not too late for a couple more guys to get in here. Might be getting kind of close to being too late for them to qualify, but at least they can register for the race and race here tonight.
That indeed is down there on pit road, ready for all the Texas brawls and heading down to Papa Joe's, getting himself some 50-cent beers or whatever they are nowadays, and enjoying himself a grand old time. Mr. Adam Turner. Adam, how you doing tonight, buddy? We return to one of our favorite tracks here, and it's not even the repay version, it's the OG version, where these guys are going to have some problems out there.
Yeah, it's the version where Jimmy Johnson used to. I watched him myself here. This is my home track. If it's the old one, that's Jimmy Johnson used to tear it up. That's why they changed the track. But definitely, if it's old, if it's new, it doesn't matter. It's Texas. This is home track, home base, no limits, Texas. There's going to be fights and brawls, I hope, especially coming out of turn 4 where it tightens up and it turns into some mayhem. We should see some fun stuff tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad you're back with your power and all that stuff. I know we don't have those hardships down here in the weather. Come join us down here. You got to get out of that cold down up there. Tonight, 2 fast repairs. 70% fuel, 5 sets of tires, 25 incident points. You're disqualified, I think 18 incident points, you'll get a penalty. So you want to stay clear of that. 70 degrees last I checked on track. Beautiful night for racing. And it is the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, it is, as we take a look at tonight's race info here at this quad oval track here in Texas. And unlike Charlotte, you have a little bit more room going through the that quad oval part right by the start finish line, so these guys not having too many issues. A night race, of course, because everything is better under the lights, especially on Friday night. So these guys not having any real temperature issues down there either. Bringing us down to tonight's key to the race. And man, oh man, is this a wild Texas tornado of a track. And it is going to take up a ton of tires.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna eat up some tires. I did see that Derek Welch did post in the Discord that it is the new version of Texas. I don't know if that helps. It's still abrasive. It's not as bad as the old surface here, but it's still going to eat up tires just because you lack the banking here that you do at like a super speedway, and they're definitely going to have to ration them here. What do they got? They got 5 total sets, so they only have 4 extras besides the ones that are on the car now. So definitely going to have to ration those tires down.
Yeah, tires are huge here. It's going to be fast. It's going to be fun. The Arca cars are going to be even more fun here, I think. So I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of show they can put on here on Friday night.
Yeah, that indeed. As we get ready here to get things all kicked off for the green flag. Got a couple minutes left here in qualifying. Only a couple non-takers thus far, but everybody currently having their grid spot all locked up, still waiting on, I guess DW put in a couple laps, but they didn't count. Must have clipped that grass there in the infield just a little bit too much, maybe. And Richard Michelob Gray yet to set a time. Same thing with the double nickel 55 of Tom Barish yet to get on out there, but We thank you all for tuning in and watching. We look forward to seeing you all out there in the chat in YouTube land. As always, we appreciate all of your fantastic support. And sorry for missing so much time here, but unfortunately, Mother Nature strikes again. And things, for whatever reason, the trees, even though we pay millions of dollars to get trees trimmed and this, that, and the other thing, apparently the limbs still fall on those dang power lines. Don't know why they never just invested in buried lines in the first place to prevent all this, but you know, I'm not no mathematical super serious engineer.
It should be.
Like the road situation in Louisiana sounds like the tree situation there. You know, you pay all this money and nothing ever gets fixed. I wanted to ask you guys something since we got a couple minutes here. The incident count, is that going to come into play today? Because Texas, there's spots, like you said, where you can run off. There's spots where, like that wall, it's just like at Charlotte, you know, when you come out of 4, they got that kink in the wall right after pit road entry. Is that going to catch some guys off guard? And will these incident points add up in addition to that, you know, contact with other cars? Are we going to see some guys get some penalties tonight? I don't know if we'll see a DQ or not, but what do you guys think about penalties?
You might get 1 or 2 penalties, but I don't see it being a huge issue. It's pretty fair racing around this track, but that front stretch and turn 4, I think it gets a little nutty up there sometimes. So you never know. We'll just have to see how aggressive everybody is. See if they want to start fighting early or just fight late. So if they start fighting early, they're going to have a long night of maybe collecting incident points.
And I'm glad you corrected that, Mr. English. From the blink cam, you can't really tell too much. It's not like the pavement color is, you know, looks a whole lot fresher or anything, but that does take away that bump when you're coming out of turn number 2 there. I remember on the old Texas, man, that thing, it just ate you up and spit you out, and it wasn't even, it mattered on your skill. It was kind of like one of those, like a random number generator. You either pass or you fail, and we saw a lot of spin outs there. So these guys at least have one part of the track that they're not going to have to watch out for as much. But either way, looks like we're starting to get things all up and ready down there on pit road. So let's go ahead and tell everybody where their favorite driver is going to start the race here this evening. Getting us started with the 315 of Zach Millett starting on pole position. The 69 of Larry Dickerson is going to start on his outside. Great starting spot for those two drivers. Same thing with the 15 of Vince Short starting up there. Row number 2 on the inside in third. The 62 Rich Blake right next to him there in fourth. Fifth will be the 90 of Daniel Baker. Got to see if he's racing the Sonic machine here tonight. I also got the 53 of James Bowden. Slim starting here in sixth. Seventh will be the 72 of Carson Conway with the 5 of Nicholas Coate starting in eighth. Ninth will be the 76 of Jeff Ottinger with America's driver in the 747, Albert Anderson, rounding out your starting top 10.
Now the 60 machine of Brian Neff will start in 11th place. Outside row number 6 is going to be Josh Kelleher in the 73. The 00 Joe Bennett starting in 13th place. And outside of him, Robert Amaral in the 70. Chris Klein in the 13 car will start inside row number 8. And to his outside, Derek Welch in the 1. Cole Larson in the 19 machine starting in 17th place. Richard Gray, old Michelob, in the 110 will start in 18th. Rounding out your field here tonight in 19th place, the 55 of Tom Barish.
Double nickel. I like how they're lined up in pit road, ready to go.
Yeah,
it's a good look to start a race.
Le Mans style start. I'm telling you, we need to bring those back. Make these drivers run across that, that pit lane there, get into the car, get it all start up, do that whole thing. That would make for a much better, interesting start, wouldn't you think?
Oh yeah,
I think so. Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun. 22, what's it? 72. He didn't make the mark. He'd been behind here if we did that rule.
Yeah.
Well, we talked a little bit about the rebanking and stuff here when they redid this track. Just to let you guys know, turns 1 and 2 only banked 20 degrees. Turns 3 and 4 banked 24 degrees. So they look very similar, but these drivers are definitely going to feel a little bit more pushy in 1 and 2 if they try to treat these corners the same.
Well, am I wrong? Didn't they change it because of Jimmy Johnson? I was at several races here, and he was basically lapping the entire field in the old configuration. That's been when he was in his heyday, the old 48. I think that had something to do with it.
Might be possible. I might have to Wikipedia that one.
I was gonna say I cannot confirm nor deny that. I have no idea as someone who does not watch NASCAR.
Well, it's off my memory. I don't know. My memory's not the greatest. Nonetheless, this is a great track here. Looking forward to it.
Indeed, as the pace car dives on down into pit lane, Zach Millett and Larry Dickerson entering into this quad oval for the first time here tonight into that Geico restart zone with the green flag waving, and away we go for the first time here tonight. 120 laps to go here at Texas 315 with a great start out of the gun. He gets way out into the lead here early with that 15 of Vince Short, leapfrogging a couple positions there to start to kind of get things interesting up at the front. You got Larry Dickerson and Rich Blake going nose to tail. You also got there behind him Slim in the 72 going side by side through turns 3 and 4. Almost some wall contact up there for Nicholas Coate and Albert Anderson, but both drivers able to hang on to it and keep on riding along on that outside lane here as they complete lap number 1. Still side-by-side action going on. Almost 3 wide here. The 53 goes into the 72, gets him around. The 53 goes down, snags that inside pit wall.
Still green here, guys. The 72 got some heavy front end damage, and there it is. The yellow's out.
Ooh, Robert Amaral having an issue here late.
That was a pretty big wreck for not having a caution right away.
A shower of sparks coming out of the right front of the 19, Cole Larson. Looks like he might have a wheel disconnected there.
That's what
Well, they did some type of update on these Arca cars, didn't they? I think we'll see if it's a damaged model or something. But what's it looking like with that crash there, Brown?
So originally it was just the 72 and the 53 getting knotted up. Thankfully, looked like the 72 able to somehow get away from the mess there, but then had some of that extracurricular stuff going on. The 70 just gets absolutely ramped by the 19.
Yeah, the way these cars are shaped, you can drive right up underneath somebody else's car, and you're gonna pop them up in the air.
Yeah, you can ruin somebody's day by wedging that front end underneath the lifted up back end of the Arca car. 2 fast repairs though, so that is one positive thing to look at. Might as well burn it if you have to. Still have 1 left in your back pocket.
Amaral and that number 70 Jack Daniels machine, most of the damage on the back end of that car. The 72 not so lucky. He's gonna have to watch his temps. Hopefully he'll come down and get that fixed, as much of it as he can. That front end damage will come back to bite you later with some blown engine action.
Man, that indeed. So already some wild action here as we take to that green flag for the first time and follow it up with a pretty quick caution. Again, once when these guys really get into a rhythm, really get rolling, I don't expect them to have too much of an issue. It's always, these restarts where it's, essentially the cautions breed cautions mentality, and everyone's all wadded up. No one's really, got the tires quite warmed up just yet. Just all those tiny little things.
I want to thank the folks out there, all the YouTubes, for watching this too as well. Got some folks watching tonight. Thanks for the thumbs up. If you like what you see here tonight, make sure and click that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share us with your friends. Nikki Short saying, woo-hoo, let's go Short. Pulling for Vincent out there in that 15 car. Derek Welch says, so quiet. I wonder if he's talking about the broadcast volumes or something there.
No, I think he's talking about the YouTube page. There's nobody out there chatting it up.
Oh, okay. I got you. And as Adam Turner wrote, we back. We back, folks. We missed y'all here the last few races, but glad that they got the power situation sorted out up there in New England.
Indeed, as we see there, a whole bunch of cameras up. You see us three, but you see a few of the drivers. Like right here, we got the 15 of Vince Short driving around on out there with his camera out as always. Big thank you to him. Same thing with 00 Joe Bennett racing around here, trying to get some good finishes here towards the end of this season. And we also have that 73 of Josh Kelleher up there. He's actually just down south of me. I go pretty much to his hometown there in Springfield, Massachusetts every day, and he's got a watermelon for a helmet there, English.
I love me some good old watermelon. It's going to be that time here in a few months.
Oh, he sure does. That's interesting. Yeah, it is. A watermelon in the springtime. So good. And the summertime. That matter.
Yeah.
Refreshing. I put salt in mine. Do you do that?
Yes,
Are you
indeed.
one of those? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Some people think I'm strange, but I've done it since I was a child. Yeah.
See, I'd never heard of it until you had mentioned it. I mean,
yeah.
Next time I have watermelon, I'll try it.
Yeah. A little salt on that thing.
Especially if it's a real sweet one. You know, you get that real sweet watermelon.
Cuts that sweetness a little bit. Yeah.
It does. It tastes great. I bet if you squeeze some lemon juice on there, it'd be pretty good too.
I've never done that. I have put pepper on it too. I don't mind that at all. Tahini?
Black pepper on everything. Yeah, tahini. Yep.
I have had that watermelon that sits in the bottom of, the mason jar. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. That's a good one too.
I've had those. Those are pretty good.
Yeah, those are like the watermelon crawl. Remember that song? Was that Tracy Bird did the watermelon crawl?
Well, that song was dumb.
Yeah, but he was putting booze into a watermelon. That's the whole point. I didn't say it was a great song or nothing.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying it was. Yeah, that's what Brown was talking about. Kind of booze and watermelon go hand in hand.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm with you. Did you try to make some watermelon wine this past year?
I got some behind me. It's not mellowed out enough yet, but it's getting there.
Okay, sweet.
And speaking of getting there, the pace car comes on down into pit lane, which means we're getting up and ready to get restarted here as the field goes side by side back across the line. Green flag racing here once again. A good start from that 315 of Zach Millett out in front. You got the 69 and the 15 going side by side. Definitely looks like the bottom side gets a good run here, especially on these restarts, as that's where most of these positions are being made, as the 90 of Daniel Baker racing in his Dunkin' Donuts and A&W. That's an interesting mix-up here as he heads on down through turns 3 and 4, gets around that 15 of Vince Short, trying to be careful of not scraping that outside wall. The 60 of Brian Neff is stuck behind the 62 and the 5, who are side by side here racing for some top 10 positions. He's going to try to maybe sneak his nose in here coming out of turn number 2. Not quite there, as these guys go all slippy and slidey through there. Still with these tires not quite warmed up. Albert Anderson now looking to make a move up underneath that 15 of Vince Short here, trying to get as many spots as he can with that Country Time Lemonade. Got some issues there. Michelob cutting his way through the grass.
Yeah, he kind of coming out of 4 there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I don't know. He saved it somehow. Got a nice paint scheme tonight there, Richard Gray. Probably misjudged his cataracts in his eyes. He's the oldest man in iRacing. Good job saving it.
Hey, gets down on that apron, goes for a wild ride, but able to get it all collected back up as we head back up here to the front of this field. That's the 62 and the 747 still side by side here, racing pretty hard. You got the 5 of Nicholas Coate up there, as well as the 60 of Brian Neff Looks like he's going to start to make this one almost 3 wide. Looks underneath now, back up to the high side here. Trying to figure out a way to get around America's driver.
Yeah, thanks to 7-Eleven Trick for joining us tonight. Also pulling for Vincent Short out there in that Track Bar Media number 15. Let's see, who else we got? Jordan Baker out there pulling for Dan Baker out there tonight. Thank you, Jordan. And Charisma Kelleher saying, Josh Kelleher, #1 fan. Good luck, Dad. So got a lot of family members out there today. I love that. I love it when family comes together around, sim racing stuff like this. It's awesome.
You got to get everybody involved in it.
Charisma's name, right?
Yeah, it looks like you did. No, I mean, I can kind of read, and that looks like what you said it correctly. Good job for Louisiana English. That's pretty good. He's up 3 spots in the 9 position right now in that 73 car.
That's an awesome paint on that car, too. I love that.
Just did a crossover on the 00 Joe, didn't he? Or am I looking at the wrong car? I don't know. Probably looking at the wrong car. Either way.
Josh Kelleher and that number 73 Mike and Ike paint scheme.
Oh, he's the Mike and Ike.
Yeah, he's
okay. See, these guys and their numbers, it's hard to read them sometimes. And sometimes people don't put the right numbers on their car.
I think everybody's set tonight.
All right, well, that's good. I'm the problem tonight.
Don't forget, you can see Zach Millett. He's probably racing an in-car camera right now over there on his Twitch feed. Go to twitch.tv/that's4guy, THATS, the number 4, GUY. He's got some cool content over there.
I think he's talking about that's S4. I think that's either a pickup truck or car or something.
That S4 guy? Oh, okay.
Yeah, see?
I don't
Reading
know.
is hard.
Yeah. Well, I read it right. I just don't know what it means.
Well, you put it in the message thing. That's 4 guy. No, that S4 guy? I don't know. That's 4 guy?
Yeah.
Whatever. Go check him out on the Twitch machine.
You guys.
We got so many machines. Which one? Who owns the Twitch one? Brown, do you know? Is it a communist or is it just a regular?
Oh, at this point, it's some... I'm not going to say it because I'll get in trouble. So we're going to continue watching this race here as the 60 of Brian Neff tucks up underneath... to the back, I should say, excuse me, of the 747 of Albert Anderson here, trying to figure out a way to maybe make some moves here as things start to get a little strung out, but don't you fret. We still have racing going on out there on the racetrack, like the 53 is Slim, James Bowden, trying to figure out a way to sneak his way around that 19 of Cole Larson here. He's running that back bumper pretty good here, looking underneath, heading through turns 1 and 2, able to get that done. He moves up a position. Same thing with moving up a position. Doing a little bit of kind of dirt track in there goes the one of Derek Welsh around the 62.
Tire fall off. These guys are starting to feel it a little bit out there. I guarantee you that. But they can't just come in and just throw 4 fresh ones on whenever they want. They got to make these things last.
Yeah, and now you're going to have to start thinking about strategy because if green flag pit stops, you could lose laps or get trapped, and there's a lot of stuff that could happen. So as we spread out, the chances of us getting a crash are kind of spreading out as well. So they're going to have to come up with some real strategy for their pit stops here pretty soon.
I mean, if you divide it evenly up, I mean, if they can get 30 laps out of a set of tires, that's good enough. They've got enough. They got 4 extra sets, so if they made it a 4-stop race, which I can't imagine they would, unless we get some late cautions here. These guys are probably going to get a little more out of them, aren't they, Alan?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Oh, he just came back from a snowstorm. How's he going to know? He's been shoveling snow and fighting the weather. I'm not going to know.
My car's average MPG has dropped like 15 points from having it just running just for some heat.
Ooh. Yeah, it's not good when you're having to basically live out of your car because you don't have power in the house.
No cell phone service either. That part's the most fun.
Yeah, that's a trifecta.
Oh, yeah. It's a 62. Rich Blake continues to kind of pace behind here. That one of DW trying to figure out a way. Oh, drifts up the track. Saves it from hitting that outside wall. Things are definitely getting worn out down there, especially if we're starting to talk about the rubber on those rims.
Adam Strom joining us out there, our buddy up there in Minnesota. He knows a thing or two about some cold weather. He said, "Howdy, fellas. I'm Thirsty Turner. I'm heading down to the pit lane down there with you with some cold ones."
Okay. I got some silver bullets. I have some silver bullets down here. You bring whatever, we'll combine them, and we'll just have like a party down here.
Adam Strom needs to stop by and pick me up some moose drool and bring me some of that moose drool up here in the booth.
What is that?
That's a brown ale they make out in Missoula, Montana. Have you never had that? It's good.
He's not even close to Montana. He's over there in Minnesota.
They sell it in the that area as well.
Oh.
They distribute in the North Central.
Okay.
They're in the mountains.
Bring some down for me. Hell, I'll try it.
It's a good beer, man. It's got a funny label too.
The 15 of Vince Short tries to overtake the 90 of Daniel Baker. Looks like he is able to do so. So Vince Short moving back up onto a podium spot right now. They're in third. The 60 of Brian Neff lining up on that back bumper of DW, as looked like Carson Conway there making a quick trip through the grass, but able to get it back out on track without too much of a delay. Now Nick Coate trying to get a move done here with the Mellow Yellow. We got some Mellow Yellow versus A&W Root Beer going on side by side, heading on down into turns 3 and 4.
Well, who'd win that bet on real life?
Oh, A&W. A&W, please.
Or Mellow Yellow. I agree. I'm with you on that, but I don't know. English? You got any? You like Mellow Yellow?
Root beer fan. I like root beer. I'm not big on the neon green drinks.
Yeah, it's like
Mountain Dew and all that. I just never was a big fan of it. It's not my thing.
I will say there's like a I don't know how to, it's like a raspberry Mountain Dew, not Code Red, but there was like a raspberry Mountain Dew that's actually really, really good.
Well, I don't like drinking anything that looks like antifreeze. You know, that concerns me a touch.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Ethylene glycol.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a chalky old RC cola or something.
Oh man, I'm not a fan of that either. It just tastes kind of flat.
These guys continue to run along here, coming up onto lap 27, and just a few moments here, getting everybody all up and ready. Probably looking at pit stops. What do you think, Mr. English? Right around lap 35, maybe lap 40 if they decide to stretch it out a little bit.
They're probably going to shoot for 40, but it depends on how they do on fuel here. What do they got here for fuel?
70%.
They might make 40.
Ooh, it's a 53, clipping the apron just a little bit, able to get it all collected back up. The James Bowden having some issues down there. I think he's definitely struggling with how tight this race car is getting now that these tires are starting to fall off quite a bit now. Brian Neff in that 60, getting chased down by that 73 of Josh Kelleher now. Josh trying to creep up that leaderboard here once again. That 60 able to plant the car really good down there on the bottom and then drift it up the track. So as these tires wear off, I think that's going to be one of the keys, is you can actually probably get a pass done on that outside lane just by preventing that guy from having room to drift up the racetrack.
Yeah, as those tires starting to wear in, that's what's going to happen to a lot of these guys. It depends on how they're driving through the corners. Whether they're going to have a loose race car or a tight race car or even both. That can happen here if you swap your driving line up enough. Yeah, Turner, I remember when I was a kid, we used to drink a lot of Big Red down in South Texas.
Big Red, we had a bunch of that. And now Valley's trying to go after me with the taste kind of flat reference. No, it didn't have the pop. It just didn't have the pop. I don't know if it's. I don't know. Maybe it's because my old man made me try to drink RC. Because some old people loved RC, so I was against it.
I worked in a hardware store. We had a bunch of it at a Coke machine. It was always the one that there was always some in there. It never ran out.
Yeah, old people loved it.
I didn't mind it. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, once these guys do start pitting, they're going to spread out again, aren't they? I mean, even more than they are now.
Well, now we're getting about the 2-second mark from their best lap to their current lap. That's really showing the tire wear here, so they're losing quite a bit of time compared to fresher tires.
But to stretch it, I mean, if these guys can stretch it into a 40 lap run before they come down for fresh ones, that'll actually allow them to have an extra set of tires for maybe late in the race. If we get a late race restart, those tires are going to make all the difference in the world.
And they will. It's a 76 of Jeff Ottinger in his big-ass fans machine. Tries to sneak around the 62 of Rich Blake. Looks like Rich Blake had an issue at some point. He's got some damage going on that right front, which we all know aerodynamics at a track like this all coming into play. But not only that, that means there's a possibility that there's some suspension damage to that card as well.
Suspension damage, you definitely don't want to see that. You also don't want to see guys with the damage on the front end of these cars where that air is restricted from getting to your oil cooler and your radiator there. Hopefully we don't have any guys with any overheating problems out there. But, the ambient temperature out there is only 66 degrees, so
It's not looking that way right now. And then if when they come in for their first pit stop, if they're noticing a problem, they can just get a quick, fast repair. There's 2 here tonight, so they could fix it up and be done with it.
Only 66 degrees, but that's shorts and t-shirt weather, man.
yeah, man, I like that count.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. It's about that with sun, no wind. I'll take that every day of the year.
Good riding around weather.
Yeah,
Working outside weather.
Dude, the 62 definitely, I think, feeling some of that damage as both Chris Klein and James Bowden moves around there on the outside, going down the back straightaway. So, gearhead machine in the 62 having some issues here right now as we're kind of approaching that pit window.
We'll see these guys, especially the ones that were running side by side there. They won't be doing so when they're getting ready to come on down to the pit lane. They got to be down on the inside there.
And how about that 69 of Larry Dickerson going from viewer to racer here? It's originally started by watching our broadcast and decided, hey, you know what, I'll jump on in there and maybe start racing with these guys. Well, look at that. He's out there. He's not letting that 315 of Zach Millett get too far away from him here. Actually, it looks like Zach Millett either might be trying to save tires for a little bit extra long of a run, but Larry doing a great job keeping up with him here.
Chris Klein in a pretty good battle here.
Yeah, Daniel Baker's in the pits, by the way. So y'all know, here it comes. I think we'll start seeing it.
And Chris not quite able to get the pass done there on that 53 of James Bowden here, and trying to continue to charge up through this field. You got that 62 of Rich Blake now getting passed by the 72 of Carson Conway. Nose to tail those guys go. 00 Joe Bennett. Not so happy after this past weekend, but you know what? Them Jags, they put up a good fight there, Joe, and he's out here trying to put up a good fight right now, but he's got a lot of hard work out there left in front of him before this race finishes on up, as the looks like the 76 of Ottinger kind of moves up the track and just kind of lets the 53 of James Bowden go right on by.
That was to set this up right here on the backstretch, a little crossover move as he's going to try to take that position back. It doesn't look like he's going to clear the 53. 53 pinching him down there, making sure he can't, use that accelerator pedal. Ooh, wow. Real close there to a little contact.
Hey, you ain't kidding. And the 13 of Chris Klein was getting his nose in on some of that action there, as well as while they're fighting here, they're catching up to that 60 of Brian Neff. So that's going to cause another wrench in their plans here as Larry Dickerson continues to kind of chase down that 315 of Zach Millett. Side by side goes that 13 and the 76. Oh, as the 76 gets up there and scrapes the wall just a little bit.
Yeah, it didn't look like he had hard contact with the wall, but it was just a little scrape. And remember, those add up, though. If you do that enough times, we know what can happen to your front suspension there.
Yeah, and you can be penalized as well. So the old double whammy. Kelleher's coming down.
Ooh, boy, oh boy, it's a 69 of Dickerson, man. He almost got that bumper up on underneath that tail of the 315 Zach Millett as they go side by side, heading on down the back straightaway here, racing for the lead here on the lap 41. 315 to the 69. Oh, it's the 69. Tries to come on up the racetrack, maybe extend out of this corner just a little bit, but that door was shut. Still able to get the pass done and take the lead as these guys continue to race on here from Texas here this evening.
Great to see these guys racing hard, trying to take each other's lines away and stuff. This is what it's all about here in this good mile-and-a-half racing.
Yeah, hopefully it'll lead to some fighting. I've seen some actual fighting on the infield here before. Pretty intense.
Fans fighting or?
Oh yeah, just fans. You know, just
fans fighting. That'd be fun to watch as well.
Some of the craziest stuff, like at a truck race here in the infield. It gets rowdy.
Big old brawl. Oh, I'd love that. That'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, all the fun and games. Nobody brought out any tire chains or guns or anything. Just a good old-fashioned fist fight.
Indeed, as we continue to race on here, the 90 trying to get some of his lap back and whatnot after pitting back there on lap 35, flying around these guys. As you can see there, the 60 of Brian Neff coming on down. Same thing with the 315, Zach Millett coming on down into pit road. Larry Dickerson continuing to try to stretch this run on out. He's catching up to the 70 of Robert Amaral, who's with some of that damage. Had to pit back on lap 3, has not come on down here again just yet. But the 69, he's looking really comfortable on that old set of stuff.
Yeah, he's done his homework on Texas. He knows you got to get out there and save. That's what he's trying to do. He's eventually going to run out of fuel here before too much longer.
And
yeah, well, everybody's starting to come down, aren't they?
Yeah, you're not kidding. As the 5, the 15, and the 1 all come on down, basically in one giant glob right on top of each other here. So this is going to be an interesting race coming back down off of pit road. As long as these guys hit their pit boxes just fine. Oh, the 15 overshoots it by a couple inches or so there, and has to put it in reverse real quick. As Larry Dickerson now trickling on down into pit road. So James Bowden, Chris Klein, Double O Joe, and Richard Gray yet to come on down into these pits and get their service all completed.
It doesn't sound like a lot that, Vincent Short lost, a couple of seconds because he had to back up into his pit stall. Look how fast these guys are going out there on the track. They're doing 165 miles an hour. A car can go a long way in 2.5 seconds. So that's how much track position he's going to lose because of that one little bitty tiny mistake.
Yeah, indeed, as the 00 of Joe Bennett comes on down into a pit lane, as the 76 comes out of these pits and finds himself toe-to-toe here with the 73 of Josh Kelleher. Of course, we got the 5. Oh my goodness, look at this glob. I'm glad I switched the camera to this. We got some people on one lap, some people on another lap. Oh my lord, we got some racing going on here as the 5 of Nick Coate tries to lead the charge here. The 1 of Derek Welch in tow with the 747 of Albert Anderson. Vince Short somewhere there in the mix as well. Everybody fighting for whatever they can. Slim in the 53 coming on down into the pits now as here comes the 1 of Derek Welch trying to peek his way around on the outside of the 5 here as they head on down into turns 3 and 4.
Well, his coat's easier said than done, though, so he'll have his hands full here.
Well, and that's where all the mayhem happens, right? When we're blending in and out off people off of different pit strategies and whatnot, and we kind of bunch up in different types of groups with people on different laps sometimes. It makes for some exciting racing, and they did a pretty good job of blending back onto the track. Didn't have any real issues.
You mentioned 00 Joe Bennett a minute ago. His pop out there, Papa Joe Bennett, saying, "Let 00, let's go, man." So he's got a cheerleader out there pulling for him in the 00.
Go ahead, about 2 hours south of here. We'll go to Papa Joe's saloon if you want to after the race.
Yep.
Yeah. It's wild at that one.
Bit of a drive for me.
Yeah.
I have to stop in Corsicana to pee, I'm sure.
Well, that's the home of Billy Joe's Shaver and Lefty Frizzell. You might as well stop in there and check it out. Check out the museum.
I just know the mattress factory. That's that big mattress factory on the south side of the highway. Was that 31 that runs through there?
Yeah, they have that too.
Like a Sealy factory or something.
Well, at least they're making it in America.
Sure.
Thank God.
Papa Joe said, "I'm ready to go." He's going to take us down there.
Yeah, we're going to sit in the back table where the infamous incident happened.
Yeah, the incident.
We'll roll some dice back there and play some dice and see what happens. Make sure you bring a bigger gun than a 22.
Yeah. But make sure it can still fit down there in your boot, Joe.
Oh, of course, yeah. Get you a boot gun.
If they frisk you, you don't want to find that boot gun. Some of the witnesses say it was a knife, not a gun. I don't know. There's some controversy about that.
Yeah, there was something happened.
Everybody behaving themselves down there on the pit lane tonight. That 45-mile-an-hour speed limit is hard to get down to when you're out there running under green flag conditions. So far, no speeding penalties handed out tonight. Must have knew that the highway patrol had a backup radar gun down there today.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with the DPS down there. They'll get you. They got that white hood. They're dangerous. They don't give
warnings. DPS don't give warnings.
No, they're not playing. You gotta stay in line.
You know what? They ought to have a race one day where everybody runs a paint on their car that looks like their state's highway patrol car. That'd be cool.
That would be kind of fun.
We've seen a couple of police car paints. I don't think it was this league. It was another league. A couple of guys had a car painted up like a police car. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, one of them was like a sheriff or something, or deputy.
That's what it
sheriff
was. It was deputy sheriff's car. Yep.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Whatever county the guy was from.
But I like the Dunkin' Donuts paint scheme. The 90 there.
Well, kind of law enforcement themed, I guess.
Yeah, it kind of matches, right? But who doesn't like Dunkin' Donuts?
Well, we got Southern Made down here, which is a local.
And we have that here. We have the same. That's all I have is Southern Made, yeah.
If you were to put
that's a good hot donut.
If you were to put like a stick down at my house and then take a rope that went about 5 miles and then drew a circle around my house,
yeah.
I'm willing to bet you'd find double digits worth of Dunkin' Donuts in that area.
Yeah, they're pretty thick in New England. They're thick down in Texas too. We only have one here.
They opened up quite a few years back, but they're still not quite that thick. But I think they're great, man. The coffee is so good. And the old-fashioned donut. You get the old-fashioned and the coffee. Nothing wrong with that.
Oh yeah.
Well, we had Krispy Kreme here, but then they shut all the stores down. They left. They weren't here for very long, a couple of years.
And you know what, Adam? The coffee is about six times cheaper than what you find at that quote-unquote local Seattle brand.
Oh, yeah, I don't go there. Those people are insane. I'm not... I mean, I'll go to your real local little coffee shop. Those are a little pricey too, but Dunkin' Donuts is quality every time, consistent. I think it's the best coffee shop, big chain in America. That's just my opinion.
I'll make my community coffee at home and just take it in. When you stop and buy coffee, you can make that.
I can get community coffee at the gas station.
Yeah, but you can make it at home. It's cheap.
Yeah, nothing's cheap anymore. I don't know if you've been paying attention to what these people have been doing to the regular working person.
Yeah.
So we're about halfway through this race. The 315, Zach Millett out with a almost 7-second lead after that round of pit stops now. Continuing to put on a pretty good performance here as we got a great battle going on here for second, third, and fourth between Dickerson, Welch, and Coate. All drivers, fighting it out. We also had the 15 of Vince Short there having a good battle with that 747 of Albert Anderson. Everyone else kind of just spreading on out, trying to figure out how their cars are kind of reacting to new tires and getting things all back up to speed as we quickly approach this second half of this race here, coming at you from Texas Motor Speedway. We'll take a quick break here from the action, but don't you worry. If anything happens, we'll bring you right on back, so stay tuned. Keep those dials turned to this station as we have the completion of this NTRL Arca race coming at you live from Texas. And welcome back here to the race here at Texas for the NTRL Arca series, as 3:15 of Zach Millett continuing to lead this race here as we're closing in on the final 50 laps of this thing. You also got Larry Dickerson having a good battle out there, starting to try to chip away and eat away at that lead that Zach Millett has produced. He's got the 1 of Derek Welsh as well as the 5 of Nicholas Coate here in tow as these guys try to continue their way around here. As we see some passing action going on right now between the 13 and the 73 going side by side down the back straightaway.
Love to see these guys battling for position. That is for 9th place. Guys fighting it out there on this track. It appears there's a lot of room out here to run, folks, but there's only a couple of different lines you can run here. So if you do get kind of disrupted, sometimes there's no other place to go besides into another car or into the wall.
Especially when you're in a little bit of traffic coming out of 2 and 4. I think really tightens up. That front quad oval is dangerous if you're close to someone. But I'll tell you who's impressive too tonight is the number 1 of Derek Welch. He's up 13 spots. This guy was in the hospital, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. He's making a comeback here.
Yeah,
Good
he
to
was
see
in
him out
bad
here.
shape. He's out here running tonight once again. Well, he did come back and run a couple races here before tonight. But yeah, he's I don't think he was 100%. But definitely feeling a lot better. You can tell by the way he's running out there.
And that indeed is right now. He's got the 5 of Nick Coate all over that back bumper. Now he's trying to maybe sneak his way down underneath. Not quite able to get the run up underneath there. So he's going to try to set them up as they make their way down through this quad oval and back across the line, heading on to lap 74 here as they go side by side down into turns 1 and 2. 5 did get the bumper there. Is he going to be able to get that bottom line to stick one more time here, trying to get a run down the back straightaway? It's going to be close. Man, it's just so hard to pass, especially when these tires get all worn out. DW extremely comfortable and confident running that car in that kind of like middle lane there.
That's kind of the best of both worlds lane, I guess, there, Adam. You know, if you can maintain it there.
Well, you can block people. You can go high. You can go low. You can do what you need to do to ruin somebody's day if you want to.
Mirror drive, yeah.
Carson Conway. I don't know if we mentioned this, but packet loss. That's the old computer term of no good. Yeah, it was a connection issue. So he's currently not in the race and 6 laps down.
As 00 Joe and the 76 of Jeff Ottinger go side by side. You can see there good battle going on behind them as Albert Anderson recently pitted and coming out on a fresh set of rubbers. I think he was really struggling on the set that he was on, so he's trying to make up for some lost time here. Man, just look at the speed difference here between those tires and the old set that 00 Joe is running here. It's just night and day difference.
Yeah. Tire, like Adam said, he hit the nail on the head. Tires are everything here. There's a bunch of tracks that are like that, but this one of them that's especially hard on those Goodyears.
Man, talk about being hard on those Goodyears. 110 of Richard Michelob Gray drifting down there through the quad oval, trying to keep a hold of that 110 machine out there. And of course, he remembers this track when it was in the middle of the Alamo there. You had to race around and...
Yeah. He remembers all those things.
Running from the Mexican army, yeah.
Yeah. They put a track up around that Alamo in San Antonio there. Richard Gray was the one that paved it. So
yeah.
He's been around. Wonder if he did the paving over there at the Buc-ee's. You know, they put a Buc-ee's in south of the track here. It's It's a good one too. It's
I've been to
just
the one
like
in
all Buc-ee's.
Terrell, Texas. I haven't been to any other one.
Oh, you've only been to one? I've been to about 30 of them. Yeah.
I mean,
It's always a good time, to get you some jerky, a barbecue sandwich,
it's a big crowded gas station. That's
5 cases of beer.
tourist attraction, huh?
No, I mean, it is and it isn't. It's really, there's some stuff you can buy in there that you can't get anywhere else that's pretty good. And if you're going hunting or whatever, they got cheap coolers and soft coolers and stuff. You can grab them.
That's true. Adam Strom has seen my awesome koozie that I got from the Buc-ee's there in Terrell.
Yeah.
Ooh, hard impact into the outside wall. Oh my goodness, I believe.
Who was it?
I think it was the 19, I think.
Oh.
Oh man, he had some trouble with the wall earlier. Guess I'm not seeing it.
It might have been someone else. Could have been the 00 of Joe Bennett having an issue there.
He was behind the 19. Hang on a second here.
When they're spread out, it is hard for us to kind of find.
Yeah, it was a dark-colored car. I think it might have been the 00.
Yeah.
Go back.
He and the 19 have kind of similar looking paint schemes there.
It was the 00 Joe Bennett. He shot down across the track towards the inside there after that contact. He's still out there running in that Snap-on car.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's hurting him too bad here. As the 5 and the 15 come diving on down into pit road. Same thing with the 73 of Kelleher. So here we go. This setting up to be the final, 40 lap sprint to the end here. So these guys should be able to make it on fuel and could possibly be your final pit stop of the race. Of course, depending on if we have any late cautions.
Man, I hope we do. I hope somebody gets turned and learnt at some point. I mean, it wouldn't be a fun race without somebody getting turned and learnt. My favorite thing. What I'm looking forward to is, Daytona, obviously, in real life. But what I'm not looking forward to is, why are they doing this thing at the LA Coliseum with NASCAR? Didn't they learn their lesson on this?
Well, I don't really understand it either. But NASCAR said, well, people weren't buying tickets to Daytona, so they tried to do something different. But my goodness, that was just. I hope it's better than last year. It was pretty.
It's an abomination. It's an abomination.
Yeah, it's an abomination.
Is what it is. Yeah. They need to get us three in the. Maybe they just bring us over to NASCAR. We tell them what the hell they need to do.
Oh,
we just give them advice. Hey, that's not a good idea. You're gonna look like an idiot.
So 00 Joe gonna come down this lap as well as Cole Larson in the 19. 00 Joe Bennett running that Snap-on paint scheme. I love that Snap-on paint scheme. A lot of mechanic shops and mechanics around the world using Snap-on tools made in America, sold by American entrepreneurs. These guys that drive that Snap-on truck around, that's their livelihood as well. So definitely support those small business owners and those Snap-on truck drivers.
Yeah.
Don't forget about those guys, man. You might dread seeing the Snap-on guy come around to collect this payment from you, but think about it. You're supporting an American business, and all their stuff is made in America, lifetime guarantee on all their tools. So,
speaking of made in America, or America in general, how about TrackDogsRacing.com? You can get all your sim racing, iRacing gear, the coolest stuff out there. They even have AAA stuff. Check those guys out. TrackDogsRacing.com. I know we got a lot of good sponsors here tonight. Brown, I think you get to go through them during our commercial breaks, but I'd like to give a shout out to these sponsors here. They're a big part of our iRacing community.
100%. Yeah, I've got an NTRL shirt from TrackDogsRacing.com. It's very comfortable.
I got an Albert Anderson. We got an Albert Anderson shirt, but a little cold tonight.
AAA broadcasting shirt.
Yeah, you can get anything. You probably hit them up over there, and they can produce something for you if you're a team owner or league owner or anything like that.
They sell stuff for NTG Trucking, the virtual trucking company over there at Numb Thumbs Gaming Community. If you guys are into playing games and sims and a little bit of everything over there, Numb Thumbs Gaming Community, they've grown a lot here lately, but it's still a real tight knit, close group of guys and gals over there. So definitely go hit them up, look them up, get on their Discord, and just look around. I mean, there's so much to do, so much to read, so many people to meet. I think you really enjoy it. I know I do. We started broadcasting the races, and I think even before that, Michelob's the one that brought me over there and said, "Hey, they got this virtual trucking company thing over here. It's a lot of fun." I've been hooked.
Well, the only kind of games I really like to play are mind games. And that should be what these guys are playing out here right now with each other
Mind
with
games.
their
I
pit
hate
strategy.
mime.
And no, not mime.
Oh.
Mind.
Oh, okay.
Speaking
Mind.
of mind games, you got that script all written up there, English?
Script?
Oh,
Oh.
for the thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You're gonna do the thing? Okay. Well, if you're gonna try to do the thing on me, I got something for you. Don't kid yourself.
Valley Odinson says he has a Wreckfest Chaos Series hoodie from TrackDogsRacing.com.
What?
He's also a manager for that league over there. So if you do join Numb Thumbs Gaming Community, you want to play some Wreckfest over there, Valley Odinson, he's one of the managers over there. And
man.
I saw the picture of him wearing that shirt on that thread because there is a thread over there for people who buy the league gear over there. So very
I've
cool.
always-
High quality stuff.
I mean, I keep hearing about this Wreckfest. Is it like a racing game, but you just crash everybody?
Private sim.
It's a sim, but you're supposed to crash everybody, or what?
I mean, you can. I mean,
Well, it's called Wreckfest. I'm just wondering what the hell's going on over there. They wrecking people, or? All right, fine. I don't trust the Google because that Zuckerberg guy. He's
No, that's Facebook.
well, they're all conglomerated
They're all
together.
in cahoots. The commies.
They are. Hey, just check out the World Economic Festival they had the other day. They're all in cahoots.
The
Interesting.
festival. I thought it was a,
Yeah,
well, yeah, it might as well be a festival.
yeah, it was a festival.
Yeah, Valios said they got a beautiful damage model and stuff on Wreckfest. I've seen some YouTube videos of it. I've never played it. Looks pretty awesome.
Well, check it out. Let's see what's most exciting out here right now. We've spread out so far; it's kind of hard to keep up.
Yeah, it's you can only get really one car in the frame at a time most of the time here. They're very spread out. One thing I did want to say about turns 1 and 2, they look really wide, but if you'll look as these cars go around, the marbles start just outside of the inside line there, and they go all the way to the wall. So if you think you're going to run an outside line here, kind of late for that. There's rubber chunks all over the track. You're getting no grip up there.
Yeah, it's
What were
definitely
you saying
not
there,
gonna work.
bud?
No, I'm just saying Albert Anderson is up 7 into third place, and then Nicholas Coates up 6 into second. Zach Miller, so far, still the class of the field up there in first.
Your biggest mover, Alan Brown, is Derek Welch in the one car up 10 spots.
And I will say the thing about Albert, though, he pitted on lap 71. So that's, a 50 lap run here. That's going to be mighty tough for that 747 as compared to everybody else's. We had some interesting action going on there with everybody on different laps going on all at the same time. We got a little cluster of cars going on right now. 60 of Brian Neff as he's having some side-by-side racing with the 53 of James Bowden.
Not for position, but still fun to watch there.
Also, here comes the 15 of Vince Short up underneath. Albert Anderson taking that spot away, moving his way on up into this top 3. Right behind them, though, you got Larry Dickerson and Derek Welsh coming on through this field.
Yeah, Albert's going to continue to bleed spots a little bit at a time.
Contact between the 69 and the 60.
Uh-oh.
Both drivers able to keep it on the straight and narrow there and keep the front of the car pointed in the right direction.
Well, a lot of guys don't like the lap cars really challenge them out there too much. The 60 car is 2 laps down. He is not racing anybody on the track right now. He's on the 2nd lap down by himself, but I'm sure he's not trying to lose any more laps. He wants to keep at least what he's got here and hope for a couple of cautions. Maybe to give him a shot at getting back on the lead lap. But, man, time's ticking down. He's running out of time.
Yeah, you can hope in one hand and you know what in the other. I don't think
one fills up first.
Yeah, we're not. This isn't a caution fest tonight. They're just clean racing. We had a early caution, but after that, it just kind of spread out, turned into almost like an old Texas race. Just spread out a little bit. So I hope to see a caution. I want to see fists fly. I want to see anger. I want to see people down there at the haulers just beating the tar out of one another.
And look, when you stack the field back up all together and put that stress back on these drivers, that's when we see stuff like that. We see some door banging and stuff like that. But unless something dramatic happens here, somebody overdrives the car and spins in front of another car or something, unless that happens, this thing is staying green for the duration.
It is. It's the one of DW gets out and around the 15 Vince Short. Richard Michelob Gray down in the pits right now. He's been down there for a couple minutes, but I don't remember seeing him having too much of an issue there.
Well, they probably turned that DayZ server back on. You keep him in the race. You got to turn that server off there.
Yeah.
DW, so Richard Gray can stay out here and race with us the entire night. He gets a little bored, I think.
He sees the status of the. That's also a Numb Thumbs community deal. The DayZ server over there that they have set up with some awesome mods to make it lots of fun. Valley says that Adam needs to go get out of his little comfortable area over there behind the pit wall and go down to the track side over there by the wall, flip off a couple of drivers. You're guaranteed to have a fight after the race then.
Well, I can do that if y'all want me to head down there. I've actually been down there.
Give him something to throw, guys.
You want me to throw like a...
I don't care. Throw water bottle, a tire tool, throw something out there.
Yeah, I could do that. That seems like a fun idea. I could throw some lug nuts, maybe try to hit somebody with one,
Ooh, that's dangerous.
No, I'm not going to hurt anybody. Hurt their car. Then they can fight, and I'll blame it on somebody else. And then
get a bottle of that Royal Purple out of the toolbox, punch a couple holes in it with a screwdriver, and just wing it as hard as you can up on the embankment.
That would do the trick right there.
That would do the trick.
Yeah, that would be some fun. And then shoot them the double freedom rockets as they're going sliding by. Come get me. Yeah, we have some fun doing that.
What you got to do, though, is you got to take it. All it takes is one lug nut, too, right? Just one lug nut. Just walk down there, pick any pit stall or anything. Just chuck it out there. See what happens.
Yeah.
Just one lug nut.
Sure. It wouldn't cause any kind of problems or argument. I might get assassinated down there. I've seen some savage things in that infield. I don't know if I'm down for this. Just me versus them. I need a team. I need a squad.
Oh, you got a riot shield. You'll be all right.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work for out here. I'm gonna have to hide in one of these campers. I got a good camper story out there from the infield here, but I can't say it. What is it? NF not suitable for work. Yeah.
Oh, not safe for work. Yeah.
whatever. I got one.
Are you talking about the guy in California that hid in the cabin?
No. I'm talking about. I know of some things that was going on in a camper here in the infield.
Oh, okay. I got
At this racetrack that got. It was wild.
I could imagine so, but what else is getting wild is we got 14 laps to go here in this race as the 69 and the 1 continue to have a great battle. Here comes the 90 of Daniel Baker trying to get his lap back the hard way, just coming off of a fresh pit stop here, trying to run his way back up through this field, and then maybe with a big question mark there, hopefully get a lucky dog or something and a caution to get his way back onto the lead lap. Here's excuse me, as the 1 and the 69 continue to fight. The 1 does get the bumper up underneath the 69, but man, these tires are just screaming for attention here, and they're it's getting tough to pass.
Ooh, Yahtzee, you got to be careful sticking that pointed nose up underneath the back of that Arca car. It doesn't take much to send them around.
Yeah, and they're starting to pass the 19 a little bit. There's some moves being made out here. Now he's trying to pass Double O Joe. Man.
That's right in front of Coat and of Dickerson and Welch. Coat's kind of out there all by his lonesome there in second for right now. He's got a gaggle of cars that these guys are trying to fight through. That's been kind of one of the keys that we haven't really, or don't really talk too much about, but it's the ability to navigate through traffic, especially lap traffic. That is something that you need to be extremely good at. Like, set up your passes just right, like Dickerson is doing right now. He's just trying to get the pass pretty much all set up before getting into the corner, so then when the corner happens, he's already down and around him, and hopefully it's enough to maybe slow up that 1 of Derek Welch. But Derek doing a great job sticking to that back bumper.
Yeah, so it's like you're thinking ahead. Yeah, you're thinking ahead. Like, you're thinking ahead of the next. You're coming out of one turn. You're already trying to figure out what you're going to do in the next turn to try to derail your foe in front of you or behind you.
Valley Odinson says he wants the pay-per-view rights if this thing is going down. We're going to have like a Fight Fest thing going on.
All right. So, now hear me out. If if we get 1 million subscribers by the end of 2023, English versus Turner, boxing ring, Vegas, we'll set it up.
No. Hey, I'm at a disadvantage here. I need give me a bike chain or something at least.
No, we're not gonna have no. You're not gonna be able to hit me with the chain.
What?
We go mano y mano.
Like, I don't know all the Vulcan death grip holds like you.
I don't need one.
This will be need one. This will be Payback for Pocono. That's the pay-per-view name. Payback for Pocono.
No, we're doing a race for that, man.
No. Let's fight it out in the ring. Let's brawl. Wait, I'll get to training soon.
I'll even import the infield grass from turn 2 at Pocono to put it inside the ring for you.
Don't hit me in the nose. Don't hit me in the nose.
What do you mean? Are you going to have rules? I can't hit you here. I can't hit you there. Oh, goodness.
There's Charisma Kelleher back on there again. Say, come on, number 73. You got this. Get your head in the game. Door bumper clear.
There you go.
There you go. A little positive encouragement out there.
She's watched some racing before.
Josh Kelleher is currently 1 lap down in 11th spot.
Ooh, one at Derek Welch snags the outside wall just a little bit as both he and Larry Dickerson able to get around that 5 of Nicholas Coate, moving their way on up onto this leaderboard. You also have some lap traffic going on there with that 62 of Rich Blake. Albert Anderson, I kind of figured it was going to be cutting it a little close coming on down here into the pit. So Nicholas Coate just trying to hang on and maybe make some last minute pass here and get back up into one of those podium spots here within these final 5 laps of this race. The 62 of Rich Blake does have slightly fresher, and I don't even mean slightly. It's a good chunk of fresher tires here as we got people coming in and out of pit road. Oh boy, this is a little gaggle going on with the 19, the 13, and the 00.
Yeah, they went 3 wide there for a split second as the 13 had such a huge run on these other 2 cats. And 19 up in the wall, scrubbing it real hard. 00 went in the grass to kind of avoid it there. Staying green, everybody's whole so far.
Yeah, 19 did a good job, Cole Larson, of holding that thing up against the wall. That's what you want to do. Worked out, didn't hurt anybody else, and we move on with about, 5 to go here?
And 4 laps remaining here as you can see behind Larry Dickerson, the 2 drivers fighting for those top 3 spots here. Zach Millett just absolutely out there in his own county, 10 seconds in front of these guys and driving away. It's been a Zach Millett show here tonight as here comes the 5 trying to maybe make a little peek look down underneath the one of DW, but DW shut it down.
Rutabaga.
It's these top 3, man, just it's been a lot of fun to watch. Zach Millett just putting on a clinic out there in that 315 car. Unreal, the performance out here from him.
You are definitely not kidding here as we got 2 laps to go. Here comes the 5 with a big run coming up on the bottom side of Derek Welsh. This is a battle here for third. As we go through turns 1 and 2, still side by side as they make the exit here. Still side by side as they approach the entrance to 3 and 4. Still side by side going down through 3 and 4 as Millett goes ahead and crosses the line. So white flag is out. No more cautions here this evening. Essentially a flag to flag race here as the 315 putting on a fantastic performance. The 5 does sneak around the 1 of DW, stealing that spot. We'll go back to that fight here in the closing seconds of this race here in just a second as the 315 of Millett comes down and across the line, picking up the race win. Larry Dickerson, he looks like he's going to be pretty comfortable there in second as the 1 trying to push as much as he can, snags the outside wall, and it was not enough of a run there, falling just short. Nicholas Coate coming home in third. Great fight here, still being had though by the 76 of Ottinger. Oh, I think is that battle done? Yeah, they already crossed line. Okay,
they're 1 lap down. So only 5 cars finishing on the lead lap. Vincent Short being that number 5.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody else is at least a lap down. That's crazy. That's how spread out it was tonight, folks.
Man, is that
5 cars on lead lap.
Yep, that's crazy how it's spread out so slowly though. It just kind of kept getting more and more spread out. But
I mean, the only caution we had was so early, right? So I mean, these guys had all that time to spread out. Texas race is like a big track, but it's really not. It's 1.5 miles, and it just feels bigger. Everything feels bigger in Texas, I guess.
There you go.
Well, 315 of Zach Millett doing a great job out there here tonight, and you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And Zach Millett taking on the challenge in this Texas Hold'em match, able to gamble his way onto that victory lane as we wait for our drivers to join us here in this podium chat and get everything all up and running.
I'm gonna go over there and check his Twitch feed. That S4 guy on Twitch. I'd like to see if he has a cockpit view of that burnout. That was pretty awesome.
He burnt it down. That's good for his viewers. I'm glad we had some viewers here tonight. We're glad to be back. 100%. We had technical issues, and it happens, Wintertime in New England. That's our headquarters now. So if you're ever worried about us, look at the weather in New England, because that's where our headquarters are based. So we had some issues, but glad we're back.
That we are. As we get these interviews up underway, let's start things off with tonight's third place finisher. That's going to be the 5 of Nicholas Coate, having a great battle there with the 1 of Derek Welsh here, coming into those closing few laps. And for a good minute there, Nick, it looked like you were able to chase down Zach just a little bit, but Zach holding a little too much pace, and then it became a little bit of a survival game by it looks like, as both Dickerson and Welch started catching up onto you. And I think you made the right call there, maybe laying back just a little bit and saving some tires.
Yeah, I short pitted on the last pit stop. Millet was in a league all of his own the entire race. There was no catching him. And then I was just pacing myself and trying to manage the gap. I thought I ran through my tires too much, and that's why they caught me. But I was able to get Derek in the last lap.
Yeah, that was a great pass there on the one machine. Yeah, the Mellow Yellow Chevrolet put on a pretty good show out there today, finishing in third. So the next round of playoffs, Dover and Talladega, kind of night and day, comparison there. Talk a little bit about that, and then talk about tire fall off tonight. About how many laps could you get, at decent laps out of a set of tires before you started to really have to kind of pull the reins back?
Well, first for the tire fall off, I could run 5 to 10 laps pretty hard, and then
wow.
you had to reel it back so you don't run through your tires. As for Dover and Talladega, 2 totally different tracks. Dover, tire wear track, it's more 1 mile. I think I'll run well there. Just won at New Hampshire last week. And then Talladega. It's half luck, half skill.
Now it is. You had a little bit of both tonight. You did a great job. Who would you like to give a shout out to?
Shout out to Derek and everyone at Numb Thrones for putting on this league. It was actually a lot of fun racing with Larry and Derek at the end of that race. So good racing with both of them. And then thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast.
Awesome. Well, great job out there here tonight, Nick. Congratulations on the third place finish, and we look forward to seeing what you can do here and coming up in the next round of these playoffs here, buddy.
All right, thank you.
So we slide our way up on this podium. We'll get a handle on the 69 of Mr. Larry Dickerson, who in the kind of first half of this race looked like he had a little bit of something going for Zach Millet, a little fight going on there, but man, oh man, it was just a tough task, and you had your hands full there, especially coming to the end, Larry. You were fighting through traffic, trying to fight around the 1 of DW, then get back around the 5 of Coate. You had yourself an interesting night here tonight.
Yeah, interesting night, but thankfully it was a solid night to start the playoffs. Got some good points. So that first run, I was purposely holding back a little bit because I figured if I let Zach get out there far enough, he would burn his tires up. And like me and him was just talking, with 10 to go, he had to burn his tires up, and I was able to get up. At that point, I was just trying to at least get a bonus point for leading the lap because I just had nothing for him. And after that first run, he figured where not to burn the tires up, and after that, never saw him again. So he was another time zone, complete ass kicking for night. So, but he earned it, man. What I saw in practice, he was definitely the class of the field. Nobody had nothing for him, I don't think. And there at the end, battling with Derek and Nick, I figured Nick was so far ahead of me at that point. I was just fighting Derek for a third place finish, last on the podium, but he had to pit it so far ahead of us, it ended up burning his tires. I had enough time to catch him and have fun. I hate Derek there got in the wall at the end while trying to get around me find a way around me for second. But solid night. Glad to get this race over because, like I told y'all last race, I hate this track with a passion. I've never been good. I was hoping it was going to be the Legacy Texas, and I love that track. But when he said it was the new one, I was kind of like down. Like, oh no, not this track.
Well, when both ends of the track are just, four degrees difference in the banking, it makes all the difference in the world. But you ran your butt off out there in that LA Construction Chevrolet Impala tonight, and you did a great job. We're so glad to see you up there on the podium once again. I got a little bit ahead of myself. I was talking to Nick Coate about the next round of the playoffs, but this round isn't over with yet. You guys head to Homestead next week, and that's also a tire-saving track and a high-line running track. How are you going to approach it?
I have yet to figure it out because I've actually never raced on that track in any officials or any league, so it'll be a new experience. Definitely a learning curve. Because unlike Texas, the corners are pretty much the same, so you ain't got that drastic degree of banking difference like you do here at Texas. So just had to give it a go next week. Give it my best like I do every week, and hopefully I'll be able to talk to y'all again like I've done a lot of races here with y'all.
Yeah, we got to talk to you a bunch this year, and let's just keep this thing going. Good luck to you the rest of the way. And who would you like to thank?
I want to thank LA Construction. Again, my brother-in-law's home construction company out of Roxborough, North Carolina. Anybody, again, needs home repair work done or any kind of house work done, hit him up on the East Coast, on the North Carolina, Virginia line. Great guy. He'll take care of you. And just talk to him. Just tell him I sent them to you. Give a shout out to JP Designs for my awesome paint jobs. Give a shout out to my biggest sponsor, Angel Messenger Foundation. Again, anybody can help with organization and those people. Great group of people. Great, like I said, great organization, and you'll be doing an awesome favor to that awesome cause. And shout out to Derek for, I know he's been fighting COVID last 2 weeks or whatever, but every week he comes out here even when he's sick and runs his butt off, and he's fast every week. So great to see him again out here tonight. So thanks for him for what he does, all the admins, all the sponsors, JP Designs, Trap Bar Media, Numb Thumbs Admin Box, all the sponsors. Y'all for y'all's awesome broadcast week in and week out. Like I said, there's nobody who does any better than y'all. I confidently say that every week. And like I said, it's just a joy to get to talk to y'all most of the weeks. So yeah, shout out to y'all, and shout out to my wife for again putting up with me doing this. I know sometimes she gets mad at me for yelling at a computer screen and hooping and hollering in the house and raising fuss, but she knows I enjoy it, and I have a lot of success with this, especially with y'all guys.
You're a smart man. That's a good job to work that in there.
Oh yeah, I don't feel like working sleeping in the doghouse tonight. I do not.
Well, man, you had a great job out there, Larry. Congratulations on the second place finish, and we look forward to seeing what you can do here in the remainder of this season as we're coming up here on to the end, man. Good job.
I appreciate it. Holler at y'all next time.
And as we move on up, excuse me, only leaves one more person to talk to, and that is tonight's race winner. It's going to be the 315 of Zach Millett, coming in big time here in the big state of all. You got Texas under that belt, Zach. Congratulations. Big time win there. And, we were mentioning Larry, that first little run, it was looking pretty close. And then, man, it's like you found a hidden gear or something, man. You just flew around this place.
Yeah, there was a lot of trial and error that first stint. I haven't practiced any long runs with these cars here, so I was figured it would probably be something like the old track where it just absolutely kills your tires. But I sent it right off the bat anyway, and definitely learned that they're not going to put up with too much full throttle in the middle of 1 and 2, much past 30 laps. So the second and third stint, we tried to dial it back a little bit and make them last.
We did a great job doing that out there, and talking about next week, Homestead, Miami. not unlike Texas in that it's a tire-saving track. How are you going to approach it? I mean, are you one of those guys like a Kyle Larson that likes to play with that high line, or is that just too risky? 'Cause that takes a lot of focus and it's very draining mentally on you after just a few laps.
Oh yeah, man. I actually really love the high line in 1 and 2. I've had a lot of good luck up there. I don't run the entire stint up there, but I do start out up there with the fresh tires, and I think that's where the speed's at. Your exit off too is just it's pretty much unparalleled compared to the inside lane.
And it helps you save a little bit, doesn't it? I mean, you're putting a lot less wheel into it. So I guess to start off, saving tires a lot better than everybody else on the high line. Is that kind of the goal there?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I feel like the high line you save your fronts a lot better. You might get a little more wear in your backs as you're getting into the gas and kind of hanging out so much. But the end of the stint, you can kind of go back to the bottom and just kind of get rid of the rest of the grip or whatever you have left before you pit.
Well, awesome job tonight. Class of the field, pretty much the entire race, especially the second half, just took over. Great job. And who would you like to give shout outs to?
Well, I'm going to cheat off Larry and definitely thank my girlfriend for putting up with this. I race a lot, pretty much most
Another
nights I'm
smart
off. So
man.
yeah, I got to do it. Big thanks to Larry for making me do that. Good man. I'd like to thank you guys at AAA Broadcasting for always the great broadcasts. Love watching them afterwards. Numb Thumbs Gaming, a bunch of great guys to race with. I wish I could make more of these races. Should be good next week, but we'll see. And I'd like to thank Track Bar Media, HBR TV, and shoot me a follow on Twitch at ThatS4Guy.
Awesome job out there here tonight for the 315 of Zach Millett, bringing it home, big time win. Congratulations, man. We look forward to hopefully seeing you out here next week, and man, you definitely putting these guys on notice. Great job out there, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Oh man. So with that closes out all the interviews, and boys, as always, fantastic racing out there as well tonight, which is always expected at Texas, especially in these Arca cars that Numb Thumbs runs.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's the Arca car. I mean, it's kind of sold as an entry level car, right? But it's you put it on a track like this, it's great fun. I'm so glad that they have an Arca series. There's a lot of leagues around that don't have an Arca series. They don't utilize this platform. This is a fun car to drive. It's challenging. I was kind of iffy on it at first when I started running in a league with both of you guys, as a matter of fact. And they said, well, you got to start out in Arca. And I thought, oh, man, these cars are junk. And I started running it. I love this car. It grew on me so quickly. And with the damage model and stuff they have on them, it's just outstanding. It's a lot of fun to learn. And yeah, it's kind of hard to go from this to like a next gen car, which I'm not a fan of driving them, personally. But yeah, man, I'm glad they have this series here at Numb Thumbs Gaming or Numb Thumbs Racing League, and it's fun to watch as well.
Yeah, probably it's definitely a fun car. Like this one, the Xfinity and Next Gen is probably my least favorite, but they did a good deal tonight. Put on a good show. I'm going to head over to Buc-ee's, get me a case of Lone Star Light, maybe a barbecue sandwich, pickles and onions, and some jerky. Good one.
Well, just before you head out there, let's go ahead and tell everybody where their favorite driver ended up finishing here tonight. Starting us off with that 315 of Zach Millett, finishing right where he started there up at the top in that number 1 spot. You got the 69 Larry Dickerson, same thing, started right there. So your two best qualifiers finishing up there at the front. That is what you'd like to see as a driver, but Larry coming up just a little short there and ending up in second. 5 of Nick Coate having a great run, up 5 spots to finish in third, with the 1 of DW Derek Welsh having a great run out there. He's up 12. Hard charger of the day picks up a 4th place finish there for him. The 15 of Vince Short having a great run as well to find his way onto this top 5. You got the 76 of Jeff Ottinger having a solid night. creeping his way up through this field and picks up a 6th place spot. The 13 of Chris Klein having a good race as well, up 8 to finish there in 7th. 00 Joe Bennett having a solid race to finish in 8th, with the 53 of Slim James Bowden having a little issues out there, but able to wrangle it home for a 9th place finish. And I know Charisma's going to be happy about this one, but you got Josh Kelleher in that 73 fighting, and he finds himself up there on that top 10 spot.
Yeah, man, top 10's a top 10, even if you're a lap down. Can't feel bad about being a lap down here with only 5 cars on the lead lap in a 20-car field. But good job for him. Also, Danny Baker right here in the 90. He had some fans out there tonight. He finishes in 11th place, also 1 lap down. Cole Larson barely made it in here tonight. Didn't get to put in a qualifying lap. Finishes the only car 2 laps down in that 19 machine in 12th position. The 60 of Brian Neff will finish down the only car 3 laps down in 13th place. America's driver, the 747 Albert Anderson, started up in 10th spot. He'll finish 14th tonight. Rich Blake in the 62 will finish 4 laps down in 15th place. He started outside row number 2, so not a real good night for the 62 tonight. I'm sure he's chomping at the bit for next week. Robert Amaral in the 70 machine, that Jack Daniels car, he's kind of in a similar position, involved in an early incident there, looking to bounce back next week at Homestead. Richard Gray in the 110, Old Michelob, kind of hung it up there towards the end of the race. I don't know what the story was with the 110, if he had too much damage or ran out of fast repairs or what, but he did finish 3 from the back there. The guys that finished behind him here, Carson Conway in the 72 started in 7th. He'll finish 18th. And Tom Barish, he kind of starting park tonight in the 55. So that's your field here, boys. And yeah, it was a pretty good one here. Like you said, Alan, almost flag to flag. We only had that one early caution there, and it was contact between cars. So, I mean, that makes it kind of exciting. But, that was pretty much all we saw. It spread out pretty quick after that.
Indeed. We thank everybody for tuning in and watching. As always, you guys are 100% of the reason why we do this and have such a good time of doing it. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, as pretty soon we're going to be starting up going back to 5 nights a week again, barring any snowstorms and down trees, yada, yada, yada. All of that junk. But we thank you guys for all of that. And be sure, if you like any of these races that you do see, be sure to hit that thumbs up button and get yourself... or help us get noticed more and more by that YouTube algorithm to continue to share and grow this fantastic community. Of course, we also have to thank the great sponsors of JP Designs and 3D Prints. Big thank you to them. Same thing with Davidson Builders on board all season long. Big thank you to you guys. Big thank you to Admin Box as well, all season long. Let's see here. We also have Track Bar Media jumping on board. Thank you guys for some of the great videos that you guys have provided. Big thank you to SimGearCentral.com as well. Be sure to go check them out for some great button boxes over there. And of course, TrackDogsRacing.com, the premier merchandising supplier of the NTRL and AAA broadcasting. And it didn't get much use here tonight, but big thank you to Country Through the Ages. Be sure to go check them out on Facebook and at countrythroughtheages.com and learn more about your favorite country artists and how they started and all that kind of stuff. And
that's Cooker's page over there at Numb Thumbs, man. That guy does a heck of a job. He knows his country music history, that's for sure.
Yes,
check them.
Yes, indeed. They're fantastic action camera replay sponsorship there from that. So on that note, we look forward to Sunday, where we're going to start seeing the Xfinity cars getting out there in action. Let's take a quick look-see here at this schedule. Looks like it's going to be Talladega. Ooh, boy, oh boy. It's been a hot minute since we've seen that track, and that is a fun race to be had for sure. So I look forward to seeing y'all over there on Sunday night. But until then, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English and Adam Turner. We're signing off.
We on.
See ya.